You have felt it before. That cold, creeping shiver of realization before a word is even spoken. It is not a gift. It is a burden, a heavy, invisible anchor dragging behind your every step in life. While others enjoy the warmth of the moment, you are busy calculating the inevitable, biting cold. They call it intuition. Scientists call it high-level pattern recognition. You call it a quiet prison. Imagine walking through a city and seeing not the buildings, but the cracks in the very foundation. Imagine meeting a new person and seeing the end of the relationship before the first handshake is over. This is the curse of the observer, the weight of seeing the script while everyone else is just acting. For the average mind, life is a series of surprises, a chaotic dance of chance and spontaneous emotion. But for you, the chaos has a rhythm, the noise has a melody, and that melody is often a funeral dirge. You see the micro-expressions, the slight hesitation in a voice, the subtle shift in a person's posture. Your brain is a supercomputer that never sleeps, constantly scanning for anomalies in the social matrix. It maps the trajectory of every interaction, predicting the outcome with a terrifying clinical accuracy. When you see a structural flaw in a project, you mention it, but they tell you that you are being negative. When you see a friend's hidden resentment, you withdraw, but they tell you that you are being paranoid. Then, months or years later, when the building collapses or the betrayal strikes, they look at you in shock. They ask how you could have known. They think you are a psychic, or perhaps they think you are the cause. They don't understand that you didn't choose to see it. You simply lacked the ability to look away. High-level pattern recognition is the brain's attempt to create order out of the madness of existence. But order comes at a cost. The more you see the patterns, the less you feel the magic of the unknown. The world becomes a giant machine, a clockwork mechanism of cause. Social interactions begin to feel like a script written by a mediocre playwright you have read too often. The same jokes, the same excuses, the same power plays disguised as altruism or genuine concern. You find yourself finishing people's sentences in your head, bored by the predictability of their thoughts. It creates a profound sense of alienation, a distance that no amount of forced small talk can ever bridge. How do you connect with someone when you can see the strings that are pulling their every movement? How do you trust a system when you can see the inevitable point of its eventual systemic failure? This is the cognitive burden of the lone wolf, the loneliness of the one who sees the cliff ahead. You try to warn them. You try to point out the structural flaws in the plans they are making so blindly. But people don't want the truth. They want the truth. They want the comfort of the illusion. They want the safety of the fog. They will resent you for your sight. They will call you cynical or difficult or perhaps even broken. They will push you to the margins because your presence reminds them of the things they choose to ignore. The shadow of the mind is where these patterns hide. It is the dark basement of the human collective. By shining a light there, you become a threat to the collective's peace of mind and their shared lies. The burden of pattern recognition is also a physical one. It is an exhaustion that sinks into your bones. Your brain is constantly processing data, running simulations, and preparing for every possible disaster. You are in a state of hypervigilance, even when you are supposed to be resting or having a good time. The mental overhead required to maintain this level of awareness is immense and deeply draining. It leads to a specific kind of burnout, not from working too hard, but from seeing too much of the truth. You begin to crave silence, not just the absence of noise, but the absence of information and data. You seek out the wilderness, the ocean, or the dark corners of your own mind where patterns fade away. But even there, the brain continues its work. It finds patterns in the stars, in the trees, in the void. There is no off switch for a mind that has been wired to detect the hidden structures of the universe. The curse of sight is that you can never truly return to the blissful ignorance of the sleeping masses. Once you see the script, you can never unsee it. The play becomes a hollow performance of vanity. You watch as people ruin their lives in the exact ways you predicted they would 3 years ago. You watch as societies repeat the same historical mistakes, driven by the same primal, unlearned fears. It is like being a passenger on a ship where the captain is drunk and the crew is blind to the iceberg. You shout, but the wind carries your voice away. But they only look at your finger, not the ice. So you learn to be silent. You learn to keep the patterns to yourself to avoid the sting of rejection. You become a ghost in the machine, a silent observer of a tragedy that is unfolding in slow motion. This silence is its own kind of torture. To know the ending and to be unable to change the beginning. You start to wonder if you are the one who is crazy, if the patterns are real or just your own projection. But then the world proves you right, over and over again, with a cold and relentless consistency. The validation brings no joy. It only brings a deeper sense of sorrow and a heavier weight on your soul. You see the structural flaws in yourself as well, the patterns of your own failure and your own decay. The curse of pattern recognition does not stop at the skin. It penetrates into the very core of your being. You see your own self-sabotage before it happens. You see your own heart breaking before the blow falls. It is the ultimate paradox of intelligence. The more you understand, the less you can truly experience. Spontaneity is murdered by analysis. Joy is dissected until it is nothing but a chemical reaction. Love is mapped out until it becomes a predictable sequence of attachment and eventual detachment. How do you live in a world that you have already solved? How do you play a game you know how to win? The answer lies in the shadow, in the acceptance of the burden as a necessary part of your evolution. You must learn to use your sight not as a weapon against the world, but as a shield for your own peace. You must learn to find beauty in the patterns, even the ones that lead to destruction and ending. The universe is a geometric dance of energy and information. You are simply one who can see the steps, except that most people will never see what you see. They are not built for it, and that is okay. Their ignorance is their protection. Your sight is your responsibility. Do not expect them to share it. Find the others who see, the other observers who are standing on the edges of the great social dance. In their company, the burden becomes lighter. The patterns become a shared language of the initiated. You are not alone in your alienation. You are part of a hidden lineage of the watchful and the wise. The curse of pattern recognition is also the seed of true wisdom and the path to real, lasting power. It allows you to navigate the storm while others are drowned by the waves they never saw coming. It allows you to build foundations on solid ground while others build on the shifting sands of illusion. The weight you carry is the price of your freedom, the cost of escaping the prison of the common mind. Do not wish for the fog to return. Do not pray for the blindness of the sheep in the summer meadow. The sight is painful, yes, but it is also the only thing that is truly yours in this scripted world. Embrace the noir of your existence, the deep blacks and the sharp crimson edges of your perception. The world is a complex puzzle, and you are the one with the ability to see how the pieces fit together. Even if the picture it forms is a dark one, it is better to see the truth than to die in a comfortable lie. You see the social scripts. You see the structural flaws. You see the end before the start has begun. This is your curse. This is your power. This is the shadow that you must learn to walk within. Every interaction is a data point. Every silence is a revelation. Every failure is a predicted outcome. The burden is constant. The exhaustion is real. The isolation is the tax you pay for your high IQ. But in that isolation, there is a clarity that the crowd will never know, a stillness that is profound. You are the architect of your own reality because you are the only one who sees the blueprints of it. While they are lost in the rooms of the house, you are looking at the map of the entire neighborhood. While they are focused on the individual notes, you are listening to the entire symphony of human life. The patterns are not just in the flaws, they are in the resilience. They are in the cycles of rebirth. You see the winter coming, but because you see it, you are the only one who can prepare for the spring. The curse of pattern recognition is the ability to see the darkness so that you can find the light. It is the burden of the sentinel, the one who stays awake so that the others may sleep in peace. Your brain will not stop. It will continue to scan, to map, and to predict until the very end of days. Do not fight the mechanism. Refine it. Direct it towards something that is worthy of your immense sight. If you must see the scripts, learn to write your own. If you must see the flaws, learn to mend them. The world needs the observers. It needs the ones who can see the iceberg before the ship strikes it. Even if they do not listen, even if they mock you, your sight is the only thing keeping the world sane. You are the psychological immune system of a species that is constantly trying to destroy itself. The pain you feel is the tension of the truth rubbing against the rough surface of a world of lies. Let the tension exist. Let the pain be your teacher. Let the patterns be your guide through the dark. The curse is a gift disguised as a nightmare. The sight is a blessing disguised as a heavy, dark veil. You will never be like them. You will never be able to unsee the wires and the grease on the gears. But you can learn to live in the machine without being crushed by it. You can learn to be the ghost. The social scripts are just suggestions. The structural flaws are just opportunities for a new design. The burden of seeing is only heavy if you try to carry the whole world on your lonely shoulders. Put the world down. Just watch it. Observe the patterns with the detachment of a cold, distant star. In that detachment, you will find the peace that has eluded you since your eyes first began to open. The curse of pattern recognition is the final stage of the mind's awakening into the reality of the void. You are the one who notices. You are the one who remembers. You are the one who truly understands. And while the world sleeps, you will be there, watching the patterns shift in the deep velvet night. The script is written, but you are the only one who has actually bothered to read the entire book. Knowledge is the only thing that cannot be taken from you, even as it isolates you from the herd. The burden is the price of admission to the truth. Pay it gladly. Pay it with the pride of a king. For it is better to be a king in a world of shadows than a slave in a world of brightly lit illusions. Your mind is a lighthouse. The light it casts is cold, but it is the only thing that shows the rocks. Keep the light burning. Keep the patterns in focus. Keep your eyes open, no matter how much they ache. The curse of sight is your destiny. The burden of pattern recognition is your sacred, silent calling. You are the observer. You are the one who sees. And in a world of shadows, that is your only power.